This is a test drive of the Mercedes GLB 250 4MATIC. This is a 2-liter turbo. It's got about 220 something horsepower.
221,
okay.
258,
which is
torque,
decent.
yeah.
This weighs 3,800 pounds. I mean, it checks all the boxes of this class and size.
You're watching Everyday Driver. We make a TV show, podcast,
and YouTube channels dedicated to great cars, driving adventures, and helping you find a car you'll love.
Subscribe and hit the bell so you don't miss a thing.
This is the latest in the long line of Mercedes SUV, CUV things. How many do they have total? Have you even counted? Sometimes we count.
I
forgot
haven't
to count.
counted.
There's a lot.
But Mercedes tells us,
what do you want to do?
I want to drive.
Stop.
I want to test drive.
I keep forgetting.
I want to test drive the video.
The MBUX system, we have to say the GLB, because if we say Mercedes, she's going to interrupt again.
I thought it was, hey.
It is, hey, Mercedes, yes.
The company MB tells us 1 in 3 vehicles sold worldwide is an SUV.
For Mercedes.
For Mercedes only.
Yes.
This is their own stats.
1 in 3 of all of the vehicles they build are an SUV.
Is an SUV.
Yes.
1 in 4 of all the vehicles they build is a compact something, whatever that is. And you can tell the new GLB has come from that kind of thinking.
Sure.
We've got, buyers who are buying SUVs. We've got people wanting compacts.
Buyers who are buying compacts.
Let's lead the global market segment in compact 7-seaters. Let's lead that whole segment. I have judged vehicles, I guess, or companies for their development of cars and trucks that are just product planning kinds of spreadsheets. We need to fill this market segment, and that dictates the engineering and the design teams to go envision the new blank. Yeah. And there it is, and you think, oh, it's the new model. Great. And it just, you can tell it's a box-checking exercise.
But don't you think that's what this is?
There's a difference.
Okay.
Do you like it?
Sure.
Is it good to drive?
Yeah,
Is it comfortable? Is it easy to get in and out of?
Yeah, fair, okay.
Does it do the things that most people would think of first?
Is it interesting in spite of being a box-checking exercise?
Is it still an interesting, engaging
I see that both of those can live together.
Choice. I didn't know the global market needed compact 7-seaters. This was news.
By the way, I
know.
don't think anyone knows that. I think Mercedes-Benz has declared that a thing, and they have put a car in it, and then they have said, look at us, we filled a niche. And I think the rest of the world's going, compact 7-seater SUVs, was that a thing? And I also think the rest of the car market is going, we make 5-seaters that big, and you know what? Everybody's okay with it. This is a 5-seat size. We have it in 5-seat, and while I'm there,
good news.
The back seat is very nice. Very roomy and genuinely comfortable.
It's awesome, yes.
It does not have a third row, nor should it.
You have a choice.
Yes.
You are not obligated to buy this with 7 seats, even though that is how Mercedes is marketing it. You can choose 5, which is how this one is configured.
Yes.
Which is the sweet spot. And the back seats are huge.
They're really
spacious for both of us, for our torsos. And that leads me to styling. I think the little bit boxier shape, it does say luxury. And the reason I say that is because it's relatable. Those shapes are relatable. And that's what Mercedes has done so well on this GLB. And I like this execution of putting together what their customers are buying and executing it like they know they should be. Look at the exterior. It comes off as a little bit boxier, squircle kinds of shapes.
Squircle, it is a squircle.
Radius squares.
Yeah.
But you get in and all those shapes are repeated in the MBUX system.
Yes.
Circles and squares. Relatable, clean, crisp, beautiful shapes. It starts at just under 40. This one is not under 40.
This one is 58 because there were lots of boxes checked. This LED light piping that's through the entire thing.
It's
and
cool.
You can change your mood lighting. It can be one color at the upper level of the cabin and a different color at the lower level. It can do different things at night than it did at daytime. We've seen it on everything of the Mercedes lineup. It is still cool, but as a multi-$1,000 ad, the MBUX system, you can get like layers of that. We've seen it in everything from the GLS big real 7-seater to the A-Class and everything in between. It's one of my very favorite systems right now.
I agree. It's easy to use. You pick it up right away. This is not even an AMG, even though it has the AMG steering wheel and the AMG trim package, which you don't have to get to save money. So it's all about the in-car experience. And that is what Mercedes has been working on specifically for a number of years. Not just the interface alone, but the place that I want to be. And every one of their cars I get in, I think, I do want to be here. I like the interface. Everybody needs tech and information and news and whatever it is you consume going in. It satisfies you.
I think you and I disagree quite a bit on this.
I'm sensing you don't like this.
I really don't.
Why?
This, to me, is the first misstep from Mercedes that I've driven in their modern product portfolio. I really don't like this.
Make your case.
Well, first off, I don't think it's attractive. I think it is borderline ugly.
Really?
This is the Mercedes equivalent of the Jeep Renegade and the 500X. The seating position reminds me of those cars.
Insult. That's a body slam to the mat.
Those are the same chassis. The seating position, when I look at it, it reminds me of those SUVs. The seating position in here is delivery driver. You're very vertical. I'm sitting at the kitchen table with my dinner plate. You're sitting there like this. The flip side is there's a ton of space in here.
This is the perfect thing to buy instead of a minivan. Minivans are not $57,000. Well, maybe they're close.
They can be close, but they also have more space.
If you've got to make a box and a styling thing that fits people and gear and, 7 people in a compact thing.
7 people is insane. I'm sorry, we can't call this a 7-seater. We made a choice to get the hip height up, and we made a choice to get a little boxy thing with a lot of space. I do think that the Mercedes lineup right now is wowing both of us.
Yes.
But for me, this is a misstep.
Hi. We said it again.
I keep saying it. She keeps responding. At least she works correctly, because unless you're us sitting here, you're not. Well, I'm going to say.
You're not going to say it quite as often as we do.
I will say, in defense of the car company that built this vehicle,
There we go.
You're never going to be in your car saying the name of the car company that built the vehicle.
Super wordy.
Unless you're us.
There's a word for the car company that built this car.
Yes, there is.
What is it?
It's Mer something. I'm not going to say it because I don't want to wake her up again. Because of the M-Bucks, and they have all of these parts that they put in other products that this car company makes. See how I keep avoiding it? I don't think that they have done a bad job of this execution. I think they've executed it very well in their style. But here is my problem. In this market segment, you have the Volvo XC40, which also has a fantastic interior, will probably cost you less than this. The one we had that was loaded was right at 50. This one's almost 58. Jaguar E-Pace is also a competitor here. I think that has better styling and is interesting. But
it felt a lot smaller than this.
But I will go to you to the one that I think takes this to the mat and makes it irrelevant.
Okay.
The current updated turbo Mazda CX-5. Loaded to the gills, you won't break 40. It has more power than this. It is more stylish than this. It has a better looking interior than this. It doesn't have the M-Buck system. Mercedes has the M-Buck system. That's the only place it beats this. It doesn't beat it in rear legroom. It has 1 inch more headroom. This has headroom for a 10-gallon hat. It has more headroom than you need. This has...
You're talking the Mazda?
This has more headroom than you need.
Yeah.
It has 1 inch more headroom than the Mazda, which means the Mazda has plenty of headroom. So it has the same rear legroom, the same kind of cargo space, more power, better styling, an equivalent interior. I'm sorry, but this is killed by the turbo Mazda CX-5, making this, for me, a misstep and irrelevant in the market. Unless you want to buy a Mercedes product, and then you bought the cheaper, boxier one that's not attractive. If you want a Mercedes SUV, get the GLC. I know it's more money, but that's where you want to be. This is a step down. Doesn't work for me, except it has the really nice M-Bucks. That's cool. Some nice materials. Okay, Mercedes, you should have bought the Mazda.
You and I have discovered that Mazda and Mercedes match up in some capacity, some vehicles, and some classes more than you think. We drove the Mazda 3 with the Mercedes, darn it, A220.
How may I help you?
I really don't want help, thank you.
We drove the A220 from this car company with the Mazda 3 all-wheel drive.
Get this. The GLB 250 is on the same platform as the A-Class. It's stretched and tweaked.
Yeah, of course.
The reason is you can put that 2-liter engine in it. You can have it transverse, of course. You can have the same all-wheel drive system. Great. I see that. So that was the compact thinking.
Yeah.
I really acknowledge your CX-5. It is an excellent, excellent car. I think this still wins on rear cargo space. The whole cavernous, I don't think the CX-5, it's higher floor.
I'd have to look up the numbers.
Not as much.
I have to look up the numbers.
I am pretty certain this is cavernous back there.
Because of the boxy nature of this shape, you may gain it
Yes,
there.
because they designed it for seats, the back of the front seat and my knees. If that is squish and I'm in an airplane seat, I hate it immediately.
I understand. The difference,
I don't care how wide it is. I don't need first class. I'm narrow.
The difference is
I need
tenths of an
this.
inch. You could fit
Wow.
all the Oompa Loompas in the back. I'm going there.
Gosh.
It's going to be fantastic. Yes, the cat in the
That
hat's
got
driving.
weird. That got weird.
It's going to get weird. Yeah. So bring your Dr. Seuss hats.
So you're bringing the cat in the hat.
It's for Dr. Seuss cosplay.
Right.
That's what this is for.
Oh my
Dr.
gosh.
Seuss cosplay.
Wow.
Who knew
That
when we
went in a
started this test
weird,
drive, we were going to end up in
weird
Dr. Seuss
direction.
cosplay.
Okay. All right. I acknowledge that this is an expensive automobile, an expensive car. There are ways to save. We've been telling you how to save, to pull it back. The CX-5 also does have all-wheel drive.
Yep.
It has a far more powerful engine.
Well,
it's
300 pound.
250.
It's 300 pound-feet of torque. It's almost exactly the same horsepower and 300 pound-feet of torque, which is significant because it's a slightly larger engine. Now, you're down in tech on the Mazda because it's a traditional 6-speed automatic. This, believe it or not, is an 8-speed dual clutch.
Yes, it is a dual
And
clutch.
Mercedes is killing it right now with making a transmission that is a dual clutch that can operate in stop-and-go traffic like a smooth automatic, and then you can fire off the shifts here. Why this car is capable of that? It doesn't need to be, and yet it is possible. The driving dynamics...
But if it weren't, you'd nick it for not being
in
great
this,
to drive.
in
You'd be
this
like,
market
oh, it's got a
segment,
slushy automatic, and why would you even consider this?
No. See, the way I nick them is a
Yes.
CVT. If you put a CVT
Well, of
in,
course,
I'll give you
but
problems. If you
Mercedes
put a
is not gonna
traditional
do that.
automatic in, I'm fine with it. Because
They're not going to do
on
that.
this
I'm not worried
car,
about that.
that's okay. But I have trouble feeling like this is worth the upcharge when you have the CX-5 on the market. That's my difficulty. That is so similar to this in size and usability, and I think across the board, better styled. So while I'm not going, it doesn't handle well. It handles fine for what this is. The brakes are solid. They get a lot of power out of this little 4-cylinder. In fact, Mercedes just squeezes power out of their 4-cylinder like almost nobody else.
Yes,
it has good power, great transmission. The seats are comfortable. All the materials are good. So often we're in a car where the front seats feel good and the back seats feel ignored. These are solid back seats. There isn't really a fundamental thing wrong, except I think it's been outclassed for less money.
So clearly, if you're shopping in this category, you can't just say, well, I got the Mercedes and therefore it's better. You can't just say, well, I got the Mazda and I did better because I saved a whole bunch of money.
Fair.
We're talking about functionality here. We're talking about if you're shopping in this category, the functions, and genuinely, all right, it's actually a little bit bigger. That's what I need. That justifies blank price for me.
Or I love the
still
MBUX
applies
system.
here.
You could say to me, I love the MBUX system so much, I'm only buying the Mercedes. I could argue that with you. I could see that for sure.
I come away liking this though. I like the potential, even though you're going to pay for the AMG flavors of this.
You're going to pay for the privilege for sure. Yeah,
you are. But for all the reasons you named, I like what Mercedes has executed, and I do think the rear seats are among the best, space-wise.
I will say when you sit in them also, you realize somebody cared about the back seats, and a lot of manufacturers just don't, because they assume mom and dad are going to be up here, kids are going to be in the back. What are kids going to say about, Mom, Dad, these aren't good quality seats? They're never going to do that. So a lot of times the back seats are just ignored as good enough. These you could put actual discerning adults in the back seat, and you know what? They'd go, yeah, it's a nice place to be.
The CX-5 will never be a 7-seater, so if you do need 7 seats,
get something else. I'm going there.
Here
Get
we go.
Something else. I know it. Just because it comes in 7 seats does not make it a 7-seater. That's like the Tesla Model S thing. It's got 7 seats if you got tiny kids.
Tiny kids facing the other way.
And you don't need to actually store anything. 7 seats in there.
You do have to strap those kids in because when you're accelerating forward, they'll be like up against the glass.
They are. They're going to be doing the fishbowl thing. Now we ended up on Tesla Model S. But you know what? Mercedes and Tesla, they share the exact same stock for the transmission. So there's a connection
There's
here.
a connection.
It's thin. It's thin.
Yeah.
But it's there.
That's more of a connection than the Cat in the Hat cosplay. That got weird.